Yannis, Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Aw, shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Yannis Pappas Hour. It's good to have you with us. It's good to be talking to you. I hope to give you some relief. I hope to give you some humor. I hope to give you some peace in this world. The less you focus on, the better. My self-help program is all about focusing on less and less and less and less, going more local. Not with your produce. That's not possible. Not with your clothes. That's not possible. Not with your cars. That's not possible. But with your information. People are preaching sunlight. They're preaching breath. They're preaching turmeric. They're preaching vitamin supplements. They're preaching all types of meditation, yoga, EMDR, trauma coaches. We got it all cooking. Religion's back. And the reason why all this is back is because we've gotten too global with our concerns and information. We have to go back local. It's time to tune out and tune off and not trust anyone of any age. It used to be don't trust anyone over 30. Don't trust or listen to anyone. So I've been working with a tech developer. We're going to develop something called where you can mute. You just mute. It's a mute. It's a sonic mute that you wear in your ears all times, sort of like old people have a listening device, but it mutes. Someone starts talking, you mute. I want you tuned out. I want you off. We need a absolute fascist, totalitarian takeover of the internet and shut down. Podcasts down. Bad friends off. A lot of the problems is bad friends because we have Bobby disseminating Korean propaganda, Northern Korean propaganda to a lot of young, impressionable minds, and that's how the invasion has started on the West Coast because a lot of the North Koreans and Chinese are already in. And, of course, we got a Mexican takeover of certain upstate New York towns and certain areas, and this has all been promulgated and propagated by a massive disinformation campaign that has been disseminated to you through various social media outlets. So I want an absolute totalitarian nationalized takeover, starting with TikTok and then Bobby Lee 1 and 2. 1-2 punch of TikTok and Bobby Lee, and we got to close that down. Tiger Belly and Bad Friends needs to be shut off. Okay? Andrew Santino is an unwitting participant in espionage. He's being used. Just a fucking redheaded comedian from Chicago who's apparently Italian, but I don't think they come in that shape. So there's got to be some dirty in there at some point or some finish. You don't get that fair skin if you're in the Mediterranean. You don't get that unfortunate gene unless you're a snow monkey who wants to try to conquer the world. So I assume he's got some German in there, and I think that's what makes him so susceptible because the Germans just have that thing. What Charles Darwin was their Caitlin Clark. It was their coming out party. It was their finally someone speaking to us. Finally our representation. Origin of Species by Charles Darwin's for the Germans. It was like when the Indians finally had Aziz Ansari. It's like finally someone has put pen to paper on what we've always suspected in our gut. There's a natural selection to this. We're the top of the food chain. Everyone else is beneath us. When you listen to firsthand accounts of German Nazi soldiers when they were going into Russia, and they were going like, we believed that they were less than us, that they were not human. That was it. So, I know the Jews got the monopoly on the Nazi kind of sympathy about the Nazis. But it wasn't just about the Jews. The Nazis looked at everybody like they were subspecies, like lower. They were just lower culturally, intellectually. The Russians, the Greeks, Romania. Come on. They didn't see any hope there. They just saw workers and slaves. They just saw camps. Put all these people in camps and clean this place up a little bit. And we want German overseers everywhere, and that's what it is. And Charles Darwin kind of, it was like it gave them permission. It gave them what's the word I'm looking for? It gave them the validation. Finally, it's true. Science says yes. Look at us. We're blonde. We smell good. We're tall. We're the ones. We're number one. And a lot of people don't know that started before World War I. And that also was the predominant German psychology before World War I, is we're superior. So it didn't start with Hitler. It was all in there. They started that, the Germans started World War I. And they teamed up with Austria-Hungary, which was Germans, and they just wanted to spread their superior fucking genes and their superior culture and their superiority, and they just wanted to rival the British Empire, and they wanted to take everybody down because they were inferior, and they wanted all the ports, they wanted all the resources, they wanted to change the balance of power, and that's just how it went. And then somebody assassinated the fucking Austro-Hungarian Archduke, and he was a Serb, and they blamed the Serbs, and the Serbs said we got nothing to do with it, and then Germany and Austro-Hungary said, but we're going into Serbia, we want to do our investigation, we want unfettered access, and we're going to fucking clean up and then Serbia said no, and then that's what started World War I. That was it. It wasn't just the shooting. Serbs said no. If they just said yes, who knows? Maybe we'd all be speaking German, or maybe they would have just taken that. Who knows? Who knows? If this guy Fuchs didn't give the nuclear secrets to the Russians, after World War II, this German physicist, this goddamn, this traitor, if Klaus Fuchs would have kept his mouth shut with his little Rosenberg friends, maybe they wouldn't have got the bomb and we wouldn't have had a Cold War. Maybe, or you say it was inevitable. They would have figured it out eventually. Who knows? That's the interesting thing about history. You read back and you go, fuck, it's this one guy. This one fucking guy. If we would have just burned everything, but eventually, because that's humans, eventually someone's going to slip and it's going to get out. Right? That's why they needed to do what they did in Batman. Remember when Batman, he used all that stuff, the surveillance stuff, and then he shut it down afterwards? That's what we should have done. But then we would have never done that because it gave us the balance of power because we had the boom booms. But the problem was we knew the boom booms were no bueno because we did some tests in New Mexico, and the next thing you know, people's skin started falling off farther away than we thought that they were. There was one school in New Mexico, and the girls went outside, and the ash was falling down, the radioactive ash, and they thought it was snow, so they went and bathed in it, and none of them lived past 30. Oh. Just kills everybody. So the boom booms can't, and Americans knew, these boom booms, but then the Russians got them, and then we had to create bigger boom booms, and then we got to a point where we created such big boom booms that you're talking about the whole, the estimation was with the big boom booms, you're talking about 600 million people. 600 million people would die with the big boom booms.
Oh, it's over. If that's the case, it's over.
So you can't do the boom booms. No. So both sides knew that, and then both sides started using disinformation, having spies in universities. All that shit is true. So when people go, I don't know what to believe, it's because a lot of the shit that you're hearing is intentional warfare. From professors, from articles. They would write articles. They started writing articles. They started compromising journalists. And so they understood that you got to, and we did the same thing. We created fake civil wars in Guatemala. And so that's where we are. And so it's amazing that most people don't go to that first with the internet, going there's so much confusion and hate on the internet. Why is that? Why is America coming apart? I'll tell you why. It's because our enemies are in there, and they don't look like our enemies. You got to pull the mask back to see the Chinese face. They're in there. It's just they're in there. They're in everywhere. They're in everywhere. And a lot of times these people are unwitting they're unwittingly participating or promulgating the propaganda points because they read some article that they'd be like, oh, this is the truth. But it's like that article came from Beijing.
They call them the useful idiots.
Yeah, useful idiots, and they want to. They want
Russian term.
And and their objective is discord. It's like that's their, and that's what they've been doing, and we've been doing it too. What's the difference? The difference is we're a country of immigrants, multicultural, democracy. We have rule of law. There's a difference. We don't have a totalitarian dictator. Okay? Now, there used to be a pretty rudimentary, fundamental understanding that no matter what bad you did, okay, look, we got the Dulles brothers. They did bad. The CIA's done bad. We've done bad. Our multinationals have done bad. Been bad. But the bad has happened outside mostly of our borders, which makes it good. Everyone's done bad. Everyone's done bad. We've had some deep state bad, and the deep state are guys like the Dulles brothers. We've had some bads, but ultimately we do have. Nobody can hold power for that long, which is an improvement. It's better than the totalitarian dictators. Once you got a dictator up, you got Trump. A dictator is always a sign of Trump. They're precancerous cells that turn into cancer every fucking time. Except for maybe Elizabeth. She did some bad too. Okay? Julius Caesar and all them, they did bad. Some of them were good. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think it's mostly bad. I want to believe that. But anyway, that's why we're in the position that we're in. It's just like, that's the way war is fought now. That's just what's going. It's in there. TikTok, it's all in there. You don't know where it's coming from or why. And the internet has accelerated that. Remember when the internet was unregulated? Like, dude, it was just recent. It was like after the election of Trump that people were like, whoa, who are all these accounts? Like before, that was only a couple of years ago, man. Where like people were going like, whoa, what's going on Facebook? And Zuckerberg's going like, I'm making money. I don't know. They're like, wait, you don't check who's making these ads? Or he's like, they pay. They just pay. I mean, I don't know. So there was just like all this disinformation, fake Black Lives Matter pages. It was just, that was recent. So I have hope that this will be cleaned up. I think it'll be cleaned up a little bit. On X, it's running wild. I don't know who anyone is. When I post something now and I mention the word China, there's Russia, there's fucking these cartoon faces or whoever with like 3 followers. They come right away. Taiwan is China, you fucking asshole. Things like that. And you're going like, who is a person who come like, yeah, my phone's over there because it needs some juice. But it was like immediately. Someone was on my tweet. You don't have to look it up because I remember what it said. It goes, Taiwan is China, asshole. And you're going, and my thing was, my tweet was asking a question. I was like, there's people who argue that if we don't fund Ukraine, then this could lead to World War III. I said the best way to fight World War III is to prevent it. I think, who said that? Was it maybe Einstein? Or no, he said it'll be fought with sticks and stones. He goes, I don't know what World War III, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Some other famous person said the best way, and that's the truth. That's the only way to fight World War III is to prevent it. That's the only way. Because of the boom booms. Because of the boom boom pom-poms. They look like big pom-poms. You don't want the boom booms to go boom. The only booms you want to see is deep from 3 from Steffi. That's it. Those are the only bombs you want to talk about. You only want to talk about things coming off the Ostaki's bat. What's his name?
Tony?
Huh?
Tony?
The Japanese guy who's hitting the boom booms, who had to throw his translator under the bus because he's got a gambling problem.
Isn't it a Tony?
Whatever his name is.
Something like that.
He's the only guy you want to go boom boom, a Tony. Jap guy. Japanese guy. So that's true. It's true. And then I said, there's some people who argue that if you don't fund them and Russia takes it, then we're moving closer to World War III. And then there's the other side that says if you do fund it and then you're playing with World War III. I can see both sides. So I said, which one do you guys think is true? Because those are the two predominant schools, and I could see both points on how they both could be risks. So I was just asking a question. I didn't ask to get called an asshole, right? So yeah, my point was Ukraine and Taiwan. I was like, if we don't provide even economic and military support to Taiwan, some people will argue we move as close to World War III. And if we do, we move as close to World War III. So which one is it, right? And the question I wasn't asked what Taiwan is China asshole. I didn't, because that's just like, yeah, man, that's obviously a point of view that's not the Taiwanese or the Americans or the rest of the West. That's obviously a CCP point of view, right? So you know what I'm saying, dog. I'm asking a question to anyone who knows that, like he wanted to respond, my bad. This is what he wanted me to say. Oh, my bad. You're right. Taiwan is China. So this whole thing is for nothing? I mean, what are we doing here? Right? So it's like obvious that there's fucking bots out there or people behind the keyboard. They have software that goes when the words China come from accounts that have this amount of Floridas, this amount of followers, Floridas. They also have a lot of Floridas. When you're thinking fast, sometimes you mistake the word follower for Florida. I just said they have a lot of Floridas. I can't believe I just said Floridas.
Sounds like hell.
There's many Floridas. There's no question. I bet you I'm right. They go, there's keywords. So like keywords, and if an account with a certain amount of followers tweets the word Russia or China, they read it, and then they get right in there. In the comments.
Got zinged by his...
I got zinged by Jesse had a brain fart. I got zinged by a fucking whatever.
A sassy Chinese bot.
Yeah, and there are probably a lot of people, and they're probably like the government probably gives them a little check to kind of just be on there, and like there's probably shifts of it, and they're going in there.
Oh, those things are all automated.
Automated too, but I don't know, dude. I mean, they got to employ a lot of people. The government now is taking control of things and redistributing a lot of wealth. You don't know. They're buying. How do they have so much money to buy shit in cash? What the fuck? Somebody comes in and you're like, what do you do? They're like, I'm a cleaner. I have a cleaning business.
Oh, you mean here?
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck? How did you come up with $4 million cash? You're going like, how's that possible?
Right. Especially because there's 1.2 billion of you.
Yeah, and it's like, how did that happen? And they kind of know that we're going to look the other way because when someone offers you 1.2 cash, when Deutsche doesn't have to get involved and the cash goes right into your account, it's nice. So we go, it is what it is. We've talked about that before. No, you want to sell to only this type of people to keep the neighborhood the way that it was, and then the cash offer comes in and you go, you deal with it. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I had to take the cash and move to North Carolina and live like a fucking king until everyone does that and North Carolina becomes fucking too expensive. You get the point. So, I mean, that's the world we live in right now. It's an information war. It's an absolute propaganda war. And I said we got to shut everything down. That's it. That's what it is.
You want to close the internet?
I'm working with some tech developers. We're going to close the internet and we're going to do certain things. And it's going to be, my whole book is going to be written about less focus. I want the focus to be reined in.
But how are we going to make money?
Huh? We're going to sell it by forcing them to buy it.
Oh.
First we got to form a militia. First, you got to get like a militia, like the Nazis started out small, minus all the stuff they did with race. We're forming a militia to enforce people we're going to force them to buy our stuff. Like it's a mixture of Nazi ideology and
wait a minute. This
minus the racism, just tactics, militia tactics.
This sales pitch went off the rails.
And
quick.
Obamacare.
Oh no!
It's a mixture of that. Because Obamacare forces you to buy.
This is the worst elevator pitch I've ever heard.
Well, that's the thing. You don't even get a chance to judge it because you're forced by the militia to buy. And it's not that bad. If someone just goes, hey, you got to buy this for $5 and that's it. And then you get points the more you use it. And so the whole app is about deprogramming you from stuff. So people go, if you think the word, because we're gonna have the chips in the brain. If you think the word Gaza, if you think the word Russia, you get a stunt. So it's also a mixture of what the police use, stun guns.
Stun guns.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Clockwork Orange. You just like you open people's eyes.
Yeah, you hold them down. So that's another part of
Yeah.
my plan, which you didn't mention. We got to get every citizen for one full day and pry their eyes open and force them to watch local news. So Ernie Anastas is back. Keep fucking that chicken. By the way, that's one of the videos I play all the time.
That's the best.
It's one of the best. It's up there with I'm Not Gay No More. Keep fucking that chicken is great. It takes a what is it? A caring man to give a tender forecast. Keep fucking that chicken. That was the guy who just been on the air too long, who just was trying to have a good time. If you don't hear, here it is.
It's a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. I guess that's me. Keep fucking that chicken. So we can.
Her expression is the best.
Keep fucking that chicken.
Sorry, I've had a cold all week. So yeah, we'll have to pry their eyes open and force them and to only watch Ernie Anastas. And the news is going to be all good. It's all good news. We're going to reprogram people to what news is. Like, bad stuff isn't news anymore. That's not news. That's subversive behavior. It's subversive behavior against the state. So if you report anything bad, I'm not even talking against the state. All right. Here's the thing. You can talk about the state. That's how I'll sell people on. You can talk about the state all you want. But any murders, any terror attacks, any problems, of course, eventually that'll become don't talk about the state. But it is what it is. That'll just get everyone back in order. And so I'm working with some developers on that. And I think it'll be good. So we got to go back local. We got to stop concerning. News has to be Twitter. I want to do a local Twitter. I want to do a local Twitter. Also, you should get rated on Twitter.
Oh,
They should rate you.
really?
Yeah.
This sounds a little like a social
Yeah,
score.
yeah. We need order. There's some ideas we can borrow from the Chinese that get things back in order, you know? And I should be, I'm going to take by force the comedy community. I'm going to take it by force.
Okay.
I'm going to take it by force. I have to make an alliance with like a couple of like really big, strong, bad guys. And then we just start taking it by force. We just go to the clubs and go, you're no more. We need a comedy mafia. We just close down opinions. Okay. No more of this sowing discord. The Tim Dillon show is shut down. Is shut down. Right? They come in, they rip his fucking sunglasses right off his face. And they just put him in handcuffs with the handcuff extenders. I was sitting on the plane with women who needed seatbelt extenders. You don't ask for that loudly.
What?
She's like, can I get the seatbelt extender, please? I mean, these people were falling out of the aisle.
Really?
Yeah, they were Kansas City folks. I tried to squeeze in next, and that's the danger of not getting a first-class ticket.
Don't they have to buy 2 seats now?
These two women didn't. These two, I don't know how they squeezed in there. They had to like lift up their side leg fat
Oof.
and like hold it on their lap like it was their carry-on.
You were sandwiched between them?
I sandwiched between the one, and then her friend was in front, thank God. And me and another guy were sitting next to these two fucking obese, older women. They were obese.
Aye.
Like middle American, Kansas, obese fucking women.
Yeah.
And then I went to the bathroom, right? And in the bathroom, I'm going, Jesus Christ, can I make it 2.5? I'm like, 2.5 hours, I can do this, right? And then I come back and thank God she goes, would you mind switching? Because they wanted to sit next to each other. But the bigger reason was they were embarrassed and they knew like, you can't fit a guy, not a guy. You can't go guy size and that. They were spilling out of their seat. When I got in, I was literally, so I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be honest now. I'm not trying to be mean. She came this far into my seat.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she came this far
She
into my
like
seat.
man spread it
So
on you.
I would have to be here the whole thing.
Brutal.
You know, part of me was going like, it's comfortable. Like
Oh, it's like a nice big pillow?
Yeah, it's like a nice big, you know, it's like
a cushion?
yeah, maybe I get some oxytocin from just the close touching of like a nice warm fat a Midwestern mom who has like a lot of love to give.
Yeah.
So part of me was, that's why I was trying to rationalize it. But they were like, can we sit together? And I was like, yeah, of course. If we can get a couple of cranes to get you out of the chair and get you in the back one, that would be fine. So then she moved to, and they sat next to each other. I don't know how they both
How did they
squeezed
make
in.
that work?
I don't know. They have to get comfort. That's why fat people don't travel that much, because they have to afford first class
Or 2 seats.
or 2 seats on Comfort Plus. Well, these people didn't. But and then me and the guy, it was me and another guy, and he was like, "Do you want window and aisle?" And I just looked at him and went, "Buddy, usually I like the aisle, but right now, do you have any confetti? Do you have any way we can celebrate? Whatever. What do you want, buddy? Who cares? We got space. I mean, like, can we high five? And I was just like, all right. He was like, because I don't care. And his I don't care was like, as long as it wasn't that. That was the subtext of that. As long as it wasn't that.
Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm usually an guy. And he was a Midwestern nice guy. So he gave me the aisle, and I was all set. But then I had to listen to these 2 fucking old bags talk. And they were like funny. It was hilarious. They were like making sexual jokes with the stewardess.
Really?
And she was going like, it's all gone downhill since the stewardess was like another Kansas woman. She was going, it's all gone downhill since they legalized pot. She was like, look at Colorado. She's like, she's like, everyone's mind's going since they legalized marijuana. And because one of the women made a marijuana joke, and then it didn't fall on the right ears. They didn't know they were talking to like a fucking hardcore Baptist bitch. It was like, everyone's crazy. They're smoking the demon seed or whatever. And according to her, Colorado's crime is out of the roof. Is that true?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I mean, pick your criminality, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
either
if it was up to her,
migrants
they'd
or-
get rid of the booze too.
They'd get rid of everything.
Yeah. I think we should get rid of the booze though.
What?
Yeah, I think we should have turmeric bars where everyone's just drinking smoothies and turmeric.
Okay.
Yeah, and we got to normalize like normal conversation anymore, not drunk stuff anymore. Yeah,
You want another prohibition?
I want prohibition, and everyone's got to be forced to convert to Christianity. We need one God, and that's it. We're talking about whose brand is what. In Australia, this Assyrian preacher who live streams, he's a content creator. This Christian Assyrian priest got stabbed a few times.
That was tough to watch.
Yeah, he didn't get him that. I think his knife didn't open. You got to be a real moron if you can't open your knife. I understand that guns jam, but he was like couldn't get his knife open.
And didn't the crowd want to like lynch him or something? It was
Yeah,
really-
yeah. And
You're gonna start seeing that. A lot
the
of mob
articles
justice.
the articles are very funny. They're going very light. They're going, it was a terror attack. They're calling it religious extremism. I went to a Reuters article, religious extremism. And they're saying there's already been threats on mosques and stuff like that. So they're trying to, it's like, you cannot put it in the article. It's not going to make a difference. I mean, it's funny how they, you could tell how sometimes governments and media work together, right? Because, the government's going like, and I understand. If I was in the government, I'd be like, dude, we don't need this shit to fucking get out of hand. But I love that they think calling it religious extremism is going to keep people calm.
Oh, yeah, that'll
by
help.
not mentioning that the guy was a jihad, the kid was a jihadi, a premeditated jihadi attack. Like, people don't know. It was like that moment that Ann Coulter on Jay Moore, not Jay Moore. Who's the other guy?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher. Bill Maher, when he was like, remember, you see that moment when Bill Maher goes, we don't know the race of it was Kansas City, it's a celebration.
Oh, at the parade, yeah, the
Thank God
Super Bowl
I
parade. Yeah.
wasn't there that weekend. Yeah, Super Bowl parade. Yeah, we still haven't heard from that guy. and Bill Maher goes, we still don't know who the guy was. And Coulter goes, what are you talking about? We know. And he goes, what do you mean? No, we don't. He goes, look, if it was a white guy, it would have been the leading news. It would have been the first thing that comes out. And he was like, what are you talking? And then you just go, fuck, it's like a 2 + 2 = 4 point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth. It's just the truth, Ruth. Because let's just call it what it is. It's like that you don't want the mob to rise up and start, doing bad things.
People keep blocking traffic like this.
People keep blocking traffic. I don't know. I think the weather Jew's going to send another snowstorm.
I mean,
They did it to me in Denver.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you miss your flight?
They fucking threw a snowstorm in there. There must have been some protests, and the fucking weather Jew was like, enough of that. Enough.
Oh, the weather juice
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the pro-Hamas people?
By the way, those Hong Kong protests went inside when COVID hit, didn't they?
Oh, yes, they did.
Yeah, they
got
did.
shut down quick.
And they were getting pretty big, right? Millions of students on the streets.
Yeah, what they call them, the umbrella
yeah,
revolution.
that one.
See, this guy's just pulling people right off the street.
Yeah. Damn, what? Jesus Christ.
Well, there was a coordinated protest. What was it, yesterday or Sunday, where they picked all these bridges all across and entranceways to airports.
Yeah, they don't want America to fund them anymore. Yeah, I don't know, dude. We also gave Palestine money too, for a while. A lot of people were giving Palestine money. There's no. When I heard that in the World War II documentary, I think it was Truman who said, and then Palestine has been opened. The British have opened up Palestine for Jewish refugees, and then he said, he goes, and the Jews and Arabs are not happy about it. It was at the beginning. It was just like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. From the beginning, it was no bueno.
Wasn't there a war right after?
Right. First they went in there, then the refugees started coming. Then there was problems. Everyone says the other side started problems, but they were both starting problems. Depending on, you can't report all on everyone. They got different religions. They hate each other. The Jews were probably a little on edge. The Jewish refugees were probably a little on edge. They probably did a little shooting first on occasion. Like they were on edge. They're traumatized. The Arabs don't like it because they're like, what the fuck's going on? But then the Jews also started buying land to, people willingly taking the money. Like we're talking about when you say, just keep it in the neighborhood. And they were like, what, this guy's offering that. So there was a lot of that too, where they were just buying land. And you got to remember, that wasn't a state. There was no state there. There was no state. That was part of the former Ottoman Empire, and they were gone. And they were doing a little bit of ethnic cleansing of their own. They should have tried to tie it to that somehow. I don't know. Because the Turks did a lot of ethnic cleansing. And it gets so glossed over. Because they did it to Armenians and Greeks. Those were the two, not just them, the Kurds. And then there's one other tribe that got fucked that nobody cares about because maybe they weren't as many as the Kurds and the Armenians and the Greeks. But dude, 1.5 milli Greeks were kicked out of their homes and forced to go back to a place they'd never been. This wasn't a time where people fucking had Euro rails. They'd never been there. Yeah, they spoke Greek, but they'd lived in, Anatolia. That's what they were just like. And then they were like, they were kicked out of their fucking homes because they were Christian, because they weren't Muslim. They were just kicked the fuck out. And that was it. And it was to make an ethno state, which is, I don't know, dude. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying it's a little weird. I guess it's because it happened quick. Is that what it was? Just kind of happened quick. It wasn't this slow. It was just a massive kick out.
It's like a Band-Aid.
Dude, they kicked them all out at the same time. It was just one fucking swipe.
You got to rip it right off.
Fucking, I think it was 1.5 Armenians march of death. I think they died. At least they gave the Greeks, they slaughtered a lot of Greeks, but I think the Greeks were just kicked out. Greeks just showed up on mainland. And then the Greeks, the new country of Greece, because they were formerly Ottoman, had to figure out what to do with all these fucking people. All right, you're Greek, so let's figure out how to fucking find you a home and all that shit. And they figured it out. But it's the same shit. It's an ethno-state. It's a fucking ethno-state or a theo-state or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's the same fucking shit. So I don't know. There's just a lot of focus on this, but it's like, yeah, it's, maybe it's because everyone hung around. Maybe it was people were just hanging around. Maybe it needed to be, I don't know. It's too much of a powder keg. It's unfortunate. It's going to start World War fucking III.
No.
Jesus Christ. Don't put it out there,
Don't
right?
put it out there.
Don't put it out there. Everyone's safe. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody tunes into comedy here. It's going to start World War III. It's not. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. This is going to be right now we're going to talk about what happened in Bay Ridge. This is going to become a Bay Ridge podcast. We're going to tell you exactly what's going on in Bay Ridge with bakeries. And that's what we got to get back to. Local fucking news. For everyone's mental health and sanity. We're shutting down we're doing a totalitarian shutdown of the internet and national news. That's it in a nutshell. And if you're caught talking about anything outside of your local bakery, your head comes off. That's it. Head comes off. See, because that's what happens. The shit's happening over in Palestine. Then this fucking kid in Australia goes to this guy. It's got, you know how far away Australia is from Palestine? You know?
It's true.
And you know what the fucking irony is? The guy that he stabbed was like against all the bad stuff that's happening in Palestine. So then you go, then that makes them look bad, going like, all right, so you don't even like the guys. You don't even like the guys because he criticized Muhammad at some point, or Islam at some point. He criticized that.
I like how you go right to chopping heads off. No public flogging, no nothing.
No, we'll start with public flogging. You're right.
All right, you start
public
there.
flogging.
Okay.
Yeah. Public flogging. Should we do what? Public flogging, throw them out of windows? I mean, whatever you got to do.
Well, yeah, maybe like it's like a tiered justice.
I'll get Poot on the phone and find out how he does it.
Get some of his secrets.
He prefers like a poison and falls. The kid, that's what he goes with.
Public flogging's pretty good.
Public
Sends a message.
good.
Yeah.
Sends a fucking message.
Sends a message.
And you go, why are we flogging this guy? I'll tell you why we're flogging this guy, because he talked about something that happened in Arizona. We don't do that anymore. I'll tell you why. He talked about something that happened in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Right now, it's Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Your zip code is your world. Your zip code is your sphere of concern. That's it. Your zip code. Everyone gets a fucking 40-block radius, town by town. If you live in a certain town and you talk about the neighboring town, head comes off. You only need to do that for a little while.
That's right. Yeah.
And the word will get out.
People get the idea
People
quick.
get the message that fucking Yanni the Impaler. What was his name? There was a guy in history called the Impaler.
Right.
I don't think that was the guy who brought peace and prosperity to the area. Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, they based Dracula off that, right?
Yeah. He must have been so bad because usually those guys are in control of their names, right?
Right.
Like Stalin's in control of his name. You know his real name wasn't Stalin. You know what Stalin means in Russia?
Yeah, you told me.
Steele. Like John Steele, who produced the Donkey Show. Vlad the Impaler. What he did is he plundered a few Saxon villages. He took some captured people, and he had them impaled, which inspired his nickname. He impaled them. So he was Vlad the Impaler. How come he's the only guy from history that has like a negative name? Even Hitler was called the leader, Führer, which is German for leader. How come it's not Hillary? How come it's not Hitler the Gasser? Yeah. Why is he not? Why is Vlad the Impaler? Why is Hitler not have? That would be better PR too. That would make people think he's bad. How about Hitler the Gasser?
The one-ball gasser.
Yeah, the one-ball gasser. How come Vlad's the only guy who got a bad nickname?
They got Ivan the Terrible, right?
Oh, he's another one. Ivan the Terrible. But is that only two? Even Genghis Khan. How come they didn't call him Genghis Khan the Raper? Genghis the Raper. You should take the worst thing the person did.
Yeah.
And it should be their name. Mussolini, the fucking boss the plane guy.
Usually they write their own history, so you know.
It's funny, dude, when they overthrew him, when the tide turned, because Italy switched and joined the Allies after they kicked him out. Real nice move. Like, oh, what that? We didn't do that. We were spitting on British POWs. No, it didn't happen. We get that debate. We hated this guy. When shit started going bad, they turned on him, so he fled. He fled to Germany earlier on. I don't know how they got him back. Somehow they got him back. And they fucking hung his ass upside down. And Mussolini. Yeah, he's just Benito Mussolini. Why is he not Mussolini boss the plane? Why is he not called like Ivan the Terrible? It's Mussolini, Hitler's bitch. How about bitch boy? How about bitch boy? How about Benito bitch boy Mussolini? How much funner would history be if you went into a history teacher? He said, we're going to talk about Benito bitch boy fucking Mussolini. So then you make it, you put the morality into the fucking history.
Il Duce, that was his nickname.
El Duce, but now he's bitch boy.
Now he's bitch boy.
Yeah, bitch boy. The name of this episode, bitch boy. That'll be a good name for the episode. Yeah, I mean, there's only two: Ivan the Terrible and Vlad the Impaler. I can't think of another one. I can't think of one other one, and a lot of them deserve bad nicknames. A lot of them were not cool.
That's some gangster shit. You
Yeah.
do something terrible and then you call yourself great. You know, you're like,
Well, the rest of them just were in control of their
Right,
own nicknames, I guess.
I'm Peter the Great.
Peter the Great
Yeah.
or Charlemagne.
Charlemagne the God.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
Charlemagne. Well, Charlemagne meant like I think the Great Charles or what did Charlemagne mean? Charlemagne or a lot of greats. There was a lot of greats. Not the God.
What do you mean? Not the God.
I love he calls himself Charlemagne the God. What was Charlemagne's real name? Charlemagne's real name. I want to know his real name too. Go back. Wait, go back. So Charlemagne the God's real name is Leonard Larry McKelvey.
See, you need a nickname, man.
PR is fucking amazing, dog. Marketing is amazing. Don't call me Leonard. Leonard, dinner time. Call Ma. I'm Charlemagne the God. So let's talk. Was Charlemagne's real name like fucking also Eugene or something?
Yeah.
King of the Franks. Charlemagne. What was his name?
Fred.
Yeah, Charlemagne's real name was Dudu. Charlemagne. Can you just Google Charlemagne's real name?
Well, his dad's name was Pepin, so maybe it was his real name.
Pepin?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was. Charlemagne's real name.
Charles.
Charles, yeah. And then, Charles the Great. That's what I was right. I was right.
His name was given to him after his death.
Yeah, I
Charlemagne.
nailed it. Charlemagne meant Charles the Great. So they called him Charlemagne, but his real name was Charles Lemange. Isn't that bad? Mange? Charles Mange?
Manja. That's,
What do you get when you get the mange?
Oh, that mangy? That's like a dog, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't dogs
something.
Get that?
Dogs get that. So that was his name, Charles Lemange. But he was later called posthumously Charles the Great. I'm Yanni the Outstanding. I'm Yanni.
Yanni the Cyclops King.
Alexander the Great. You know? He's called the Great.
So why is Charlemagne called the father of Europe?
Because he did some shit. That was during the Frank Kingdom, right? Where they took shit over. So he murdered. He could have been the impaler. You know, telling me he didn't impale? He just was in control of his own nickname. He probably died while shit was still hot. If you dying while you still hot, Stalin died while shit was still popping. And then afterwards, Khrushchev came in and was like, all right, we got to reconcile a lot of shit that he did. A lot of people didn't like that about Khrushchev. They didn't like that about Khrushchev. That he was like, yo, this guy really murdered a lot of our own people. And we got to reconcile. People were like, yo, shut your mouth. You're talking about my man Steele. He didn't do anything of the sort. Stalin murdered millions and millions and millions of people through forced poverty, forced famine, and submission. Yeah. How about Mao Zedong? How many did he take down?
Wow.
How much did the Great Leap Forward take down?
He's the GOAT. According to this, he's the GOAT.
45 mil. Caitlin Clark, fucking dictators. Kids racking up numbers. All-time leading scorer in death. Mao Zedong, 45 million. But yo, Stalin got a lot. What did Stalin get?
According to this, 9 million
That's
foreseeable
fucking
deaths.
nothing. But also the Chinese, it's like there's a lot more of them to kill. You know?
You got to go by percentages.
Yeah. I mean, 45 mil, that's a nice little record, Mao Zedong. And they love that dude over there. It's fucking, you know.
They still preach his philosophies.
Yeah, dude, we should do an episode on President X's pops. It's so fascinating. So fascinating because the communists fucked him up. And then this kid got raised like by the state. Like your father was bad. And so he's basically Darth Vader. He's basically Darth Vader. And Trump is Luke Skywalker. Hunter Biden, because what's going to happen is Joe Biden's going to win. His numbers are up a little bit. And I don't think Trump's going to be allowed to run because he's got court cases. Kids got cases. What do they call it in the ghetto? Caught a case. My man caught a case. Yo, Trump caught a case. He caught a case, dog. He can't make it, you know? He locked up right now. You heard? I mean, Trump locked up. Yo, T-God locked up right now, doing a bid.
Yo, my man doing a hard 6.
He's doing a hard 6 right now. You hurt? So then Biden will die, and Kamala Harris will get it. I don't want to say that. Kamala Harris will die from.
Wait, nobody's dying.
Yeah, nobody dies. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. Kamala Harris will just quit. She'll go, I've had it. I'm protesting pay inequality. My salary's lower than Dan Quayle's was, or whatever. Was Dan Quayle vice president? He was vice president Bush, right? Yeah. My president was lower than fucking Al Gore. I'm protesting inequality, and then she's up there with the bull from soccer, and they're talking about wage gap shit. So she quits, and so then Hunter Biden becomes president of the United States because we returned to a feudal system, and so he's Prince.
That would be
Prince,
fun.
That'll be fun. And so then he's Luke Skywalker, and then we find out that President Z is his pops because his mom took a trip there, and that's why he's got drug addictions, because the Chinese can't handle their alcohol. They don't have the enzyme for it. So that's really a good explanation why he's an addict, because they can't handle it. They don't have the enzyme for it. Enzyme. And so then it's Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader. Dog, King Z's Batman. His family was murdered. Yeah, but instead of Batman, he chose darkness. So he's
the Joker.
He's more the Joker. But isn't that more Darth Vader? Because didn't they
Right.
kill him, and then
Darth Vader chose the dark
he
side.
chose the darkness? I think President Z could have easily chosen hey, the communists are bad. The communists tortured his pops, but also raised him this is why your father's bad. Look at what he was going against. We want to give, and then you pick one place, you just go, you see, and they just raised them up. They just raised them up in communism. He loves it. He needs therapy. Can you imagine all this suppression he's doing and all this takedown of independent business now he's doing? It's all because of his pops.
But what if this is a long game? He's gonna, and as soon as he has consolidated.
Well, I
power.
know the Chinese win, I tell you, because they're the aliens in the future.
But what happens?
So I know they win.
What happens if he all of a sudden just starts locking up all these communists and gets revenge for how they treated his pops?
It's not going to happen.
Let's say he just I got you,
Got you, I
motherfuckers.
got you, and then boom, and then now I know who you all are, and now I'm
Yep.
turning.
Yep.
But that's only going to happen when Jesus Christ comes back and floats down into his house and has an honest moment and converts him like Constantine. It's going to happen. It's going to happen when he's very sick with the new COVID that they release. He's going to catch it, and then when he catches it on his deathbed, then the Archangel Gabriel is going to come down and go "You're a fucking heathen barbarian with Christians, you fucking."
Yeah, he finds Jesus.
But that doesn't happen. You want to know how I know?
Why?
Because the aliens are us from the future,
Mm-hmm.
and they're Sky Chinese. So it is what it is. Have you seen them, the Greys? Who do they look more like? Us in the future or them in the future? I'm just saying. Did that line just make this a bonus? Should I have done that in Sean Terry's voice? Should we? Okay.
You got to do it in a character.
All right. Forget to cut that part. But this is Sean Terry's. Sean Terry, I know that the Chinese win in the future because the aliens are us from the future, like Joe Rogan said. And who do they look more like? So the Chinese end up winning fucking World War III. And then they live for another 1,000 years. And they have no body here. And neither do the Greys. So eventually, because they don't got to build any muscle mass anymore, because these fucking Chinese, they can't play sports. They all look like fucking she-girls. They all look like fucking she-males, these fucking guys. So they shrink down into these little fucking Greys, get in their fucking spaceships, and eat ramen because they can survive longer without food because they're smaller. The Americans can't fit in those fucking ships. But the Chinese are fucking compact and small. So they get in there and they fucking fly off and they come down and they visit us from the fucking future because they figure out how to go fast. Because the Japanese were the first ones to build the bullet train. So that's how I know that the Chinese win World War III. It's because of the Sky Chinese that visit us now. I'm cannibalizing my act because that's in my act. But there you go. If you're a podcast listener, you'll still laugh at it when you see it on my special. So whatever. And if someone tries to steal it, I thought of it. And it's only in Sean Terry's voice. I didn't come up with
That's
that.
right.
Sean Terry calls them Sky Chinese.
That's
not
right.
me.
Not Yannis Pappas.
Not me. The fucking eyes, you can tell. The fucking Chinese grace. So that's what's going to happen, dog. If only Z listened to this pod, he would have more of an understanding of his own psychology.
He should take a meeting with us.
He needs to do EMDR.
Yeah.
He needs to do EMDR. I would have him on the pod.
You'd have him on the pod?
Of course I would.
Yeah.
I'd go, so Z, why is that? See, a lot of people say you're really cracking down on people's freedom over there. If you jaywalk, you get publicly shamed, and there's a ticket that comes straight to your house. Everyone has a social credit score, and nobody's allowed to do anything. Now, but the streets are clean. Why is that? Why do Americans have such a bad view of China? The streets are clean. The cities are. I mean, God forbid. Imagine Tucker goes and looks at the skyline of Wuhan. He's gonna go. You're told in the media that Wuhan communism is so bad. But let me tell you something. I went to the supermarket and had a dark chocolate. And I love dark chocolate. So, a lot of the things that they tell you are they true? Is it true? I don't know. Imagine he goes and sees some of the fucking skylines over there.
He'll lose his
Malaysia.
mind.
And then he goes, oh yeah, wait, if you do graffiti, they cane you and put you to death. That's how you keep a place clean. But is that what you want? You don't want kids having any fun? Okay, yeah, you break a couple mailboxes. It causes some destruction. That employs people. You put some nails down in the road. That employs people. So what? Kids like to have fun. You do a little graffiti. It's a good time. You're hanging out with your friends. You drink a 40 on the beach. You break it and the glass goes on the concrete and it goes into a Labradoodle's paw. By the way, what's a bigger indication of a nice neighborhood? A Whole Foods or a white woman walking a Labradoodle?
They go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You see a white woman walking alone with a Labradoodle at 7 p.m., you're safe. You're okay. You made it. You passed on you're in the light. You're out of the darkness and into the light. The Labradoodle is really like the boundary line of
That's right.
You're in a safe place.
It's like a neighborhood with an Apple store.
Yeah, it's Apple Store. What's the biggest indication? Would it be Apple Store? Would it be Whole Foods or Labradoodle? I'd say Labradoodle because the Labradoodles sometimes are a little farther than the main strip with the Apple. So the Labradoodle is, if that Labradoodle is on that block, you're within the bound. Like you could get out of the car and roll around in the grass. You're safe.
Yeah.
Like the Apple Store is in the middle. But the Apple Store and Whole Foods are like Rome. It's like the Rome. And then the white woman with the Labradoodle is the frontier soldiers, right? The Roman frontier soldiers. So you're right on the line of where on the other side of the river are the barbarians, but you're still in Rome. So once you see a Labradoodle walking, you're in Rome. You're no longer where the barbarians can get you and impale you or whatever they did. So just stay on the lookout for Labradoodles. It is definitely the fucking white designer dog of choice. They took those two breeds and just said, how can we bitchify a dog? They're beautiful, though. They're just skinny, and when you pet them, they're like bony. They're very athletic. They're great dogs. I'm not into these fucking science dogs. That should be a clip where I said, yeah, I want that to be a clip.
Which one?
Last episode where I was screaming about why you get a pure breed. What do you want them working on your farm? It's like, just rescue your dog. Be a good person. And that's the only thing I want you to think about is your dog, your home, and your zip code. And that is my Yanni Huberman's prescription. Okay? That's it. You don't even need to. Guess what? You want to know the reason why you need to deep breathe? Why is it did people need to deep breathe before the internet? Nobody needed to deep breathe. Everyone was pretty chill. My dad was fine fucking smoking a cigarette and having a coffee, right? And that's it. Like, my dad wasn't in a constant need of a deep breath and sunlight and all this shit. And the reason why people need all these things now is because we've gone past our local sphere of influence. We got to get back down. Local organizing. Clean up your neighborhoods. I want one ethnicity in every neighborhood.
That's supposed to be Sean Terry.
Okay, went off the rails. I see nothing's going to work. Okay, because that's where that'll end too. Next thing you know, it's sphere of influence. And they're going, okay, yeah, Yanni, what was that? Yanni the Astounding. Yanni the Astounding. Yanni the Astounding. You told us to just focus on our neighborhood. So guess what? We started focusing on our neighborhood when we ran these Mexicans out with bats. And you're going, oh, wait, I didn't want that. And you go, oh, fuck, this has gotten away from me. But then I got to pretend like I go like that because that's the political will. Because you can't control people. So then I go, okay, let's get back to that. It's all Italian, all Irish, all German neighborhood. That's it. And the Mexicans over there. You know, during World War II, dude, they just took all the Japanese and they threw them in fucking camps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, when war comes, you could throw your civil liberties out the window.
Yeah.
That was rough. Just with people born here.
The
Going,
Japanese
like, what the
internment
fuck?
camps, yeah, they just rounded you up.
Yeah. I mean, the bomb was like, yeah. That's another big historical
Shit
debate.
gets ugly.
Did we need to drop the bomb? But a lot of people don't know that it wasn't just that we wanted to scare the Russians. It's that we wanted to drop the bomb before the Russians got to that sphere of war to help us end the war. Because we saw what happened in Germany, right? So we took West Germany, they took East Germany. And we knew communism was bad, right, for us, and bad. So we wanted all of Japan. We wanted the reconstruction of all of Japan. So the Russians were coming. They were, like, close. And so we were like, we want to end the war. And the Japanese would not take unconditional surrender. And people say, why didn't you let them keep your thing? It's like, who gives a fuck? They preemptively attacked us. We want unconditional surrender. This is over, dude. Don't make us do this. And they just rejected it. So what can you do? It's bad. It's bad what happened. But also, here's another thing. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. It was one of those things like maybe COVID vaccines. When you look back, you go, okay, maybe they helped a little bit. They helped us end the war.
Whoops.
But it also, some people, it was a little, the blast zone was a little bigger than we thought. Sorry about that. Hi, my name is I'm calling from yeah, can I get an ambulance because the skin on my hand just fell off. Where do you live? I live in I'm so far. I'm in Tokyo. I don't know how this happened. Yeah, I mean, it was bad. It was worse than they thought. So it was worse. Initially, we were there was some other cities that were on the list and it got changed. And if you're that city, you're going like, it's almost like you were supposed to be on United Flight 118 or whatever. And you find out you slept late or something. I can't remember the name of it was like Kiku or something was supposed to be the city, but it got changed because I think Stimson, the Secretary of War, convinced Truman. He was like, they'll never forgive us because it's just a purely civilian target. But he's like, at least there's a military base in Hiroshima. I mean, the military base probably had like 7 Japanese fighters, like 7. I mean, it was just one military base. And, Kyoto. Wait, what was it, Kyoto? No, it was supposed to not be Hiroshima. I know that. And then if you're in Hiroshima, you got to be like, oh, fuck, dude. God damn it. Fuck, I wish we had, fuck. Why do we have this fucking military? Yeah. Whatever it was, there was a city. I don't know if it was Kiku or Kyoto or whatever. Cities that were supposed to be. Jesus Christ, Jesse. I mean, can I screenshot that?
No.
The easy way to go is where was the bomb? Yeah, why was Kyoto not bombed? It was felt that bombing Kyoto would have engendered such anger amongst the Japanese that the post-war occupation would have been, and that was Stimson that convinced Harry Truman to that. So they switched at the last second, and Hiroshima got the boom boom. Hiroshima, which in history, you think about it, it's a better name. Hiroshima. It sounds like something bad happened there. I guess the bomb on Kyoto just doesn't have the. Are we going to do another Kyoto and Nagasaki? It's better than Hiroshima.
Mm.
So they got the boom booms, and it was worse than we thought. And then afterwards, we were horrified by it. Even Truman was horrified by it. He was like, dude, this has got, and that's what set up the League of Nations. And there was supposed to be this international coordination. Well, actually, League of Nations was World War I. I think the United Nations after World War II. But dude, once the nuclear age came, and that's how you know, like, it makes you really not be hopeful, because you're going like, it's almost like, how much worse can this get? It's almost like when they killed those babies in Newtown, and you're going, okay, can we do something? Can we find a compromise somewhere? And when you, after the boom booms hit, you're going, all right. And then they did the tests, like Russians, and like the fucking radiation spread out. Like, and people were just getting cancer like miles away, and they're like, all right, this is no good. And then once they created the ones that could kill 665 million or 400 million, or you're going like, okay, we got to figure something out here, but we still haven't been able to. So that's what makes you think maybe it's what is going to be the revolution of mind. It's got to be a revolution of mind.
Mushrooms. Everyone needs the microdose.
We gotta, instead of trying, look, dude, you know what they do? You know how they try to, like, we definitely did it to Chavez, right? We gave him a brain tumor. But what if instead of giving him a brain tumor, you put ayahuasca in his coffee? See what he comes up with. He would come up the next dude.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Next day, he'd be like Neil Brennan and be like, I love everybody. I'm on ayahuasca now.
That's right.
That's what we need to do. Put ayahuasca in Putin's coffee. I want to give a shout out to the people who really are responsible for this show, being able to go out to all of you. I want to sincerely thank you all. I know I joke around a lot, but I love you guys to death. I hope we helped you a little bit because you've helped us a lot. ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. Our Patreon member, Jared Z, that's his business. He'll move your car. If you bought a car from out of state or you're moving, ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. Student and military discounts are available. And that's who you call if you need to do that one thing. And if you want to do this thing, which is cash a business check, I mean, you got to give it to Chris Minetti. He's a good sport. I haven't given him one good ad read, and he loves it.
They've all been good.
They've all been good. I mean, they've been good for comedy. But, you know, he's a legitimate business. Chris Minetti will cash your business check in the Philly, South Jersey area. 215-750-3730 is the number. Also, from what I hear, he is an Italian gentleman from Philly, so he'll have you over for his mom's sauce. After he cashes your business check, he'll take you back to Philly and get you a hoogie. For the free dot art, this one I can still get away with just saying it's music in Hawaii. Check it out, though. Check out the website. Tell me if they've updated it.
New copy.
Ooh! Nate Linder's giving us some new copy. Can we just like I'm Yanni the Astounding, let's call him Nate the Great Marketer. Nate the Great Marketer. Nate the Great. Nate the Great helps businesses across the world. I like to read the copy verbatim when it comes in. Nate helps businesses across the world. Is it the globe?
He's a global conglomerate.
Across the world. It sounds like I got a smoker's cough, but it's just, also allergies have hit me hard. Nate helps businesses across the world. Now, you can Google that. Create high-performing websites, rank #1 on Google, and profit from digital advertising. Nate is focused on real business results like revenue and new customer acquisition, not just clicks. Nate has been crushing it with B2B companies and construction companies across the globe. NateLinder.com is back. NateLinder.com. Think marketing? Think Nate Linder. He's doing it, dude. Nate Linder's going to blow up as this podcast blows up. All you got to do is stick around. If you stick around, if these guys stick around, you're going to increasingly get to bigger and bigger numbers. Once we figure out how to stop making them smaller and smaller and we get them bigger and bigger. They're not getting smaller and smaller. The listening numbers are great and steady and growing. YouTube algorithm doesn't love us for some reason. It's probably because I say things like, bleep it. DisplayPros.net. We love you guys. They're the real deal when it comes to custom trade, show booths, retail fixtures, and promotional items. What sets them apart from the competition? It's their customer service, their fast turnaround. It's unbeatable. So that's not all. What can you expect? You can expect excellent customer service from them. So whether you're getting ready for a trade show, setting up a retail space, or just need some killer promotional items, check out DisplayPros.net. Use the coupon code. Just tell them Yannis sent you. That's easier than what's the deal is. So just tell them Yannis sent you and you get 10% off your first order. MA Insurance Services is a boutique insurance service company in the St. Petersburg, Florida area. They got all types of coverage plans. MAinsuranceservices.com. or you can call them at 813-260-0338. Shout out our boy, Matthew Albani. Capper Tech. You know, this is people, we got people on here who like to gamble, right? Throw a little juice on games. And so, we've gotten people from this show because it's free. So this is an easy sell. You just go to cappertech.com and they will help. They'll crunch the data for you and give you a better sense based on all the data, factors, statistics. They use learning AI to simulate game results and give you the best betting advice possible. 100% free. That's the best part. Go to cappertech.com or download the CapperTech app in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Start winning. Rebels Raider, has he got bags yet?
No, but he has a new product.
Oh, what does he got?
He's calling it a plate carrier. It's body armor.
Okay. So if you're a 4-year-old child who goes to school in a pretty lax gun law area, this is actually going to be, he may be early in the market on
Dude,
this.
we know who to call when the lights go out.
Yeah, we know who to call, dude. He may be like early on a trend.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're all going to be walking around looking like medieval knights soon.
He's a good guy to know.
Yeah, America body armor's got to be a part of what you do. So he's currently working on my plate carrier body armor and a new backpack. So if you want to be safe while you hop on the United Airlines flight, you can fit a lot in that military backpack, and also you can be protected against the bullets. So he's working on that right now. Still sold out of the backpacks, right? And he's working on a new backpack as well. I want to see that. I use it every week. Rebels-Raiders.com. Check them out. Real deal tactical gear. Backpack pouches, all types of packs for everyday carry. Running, training, traveling, all that. They're just amazing backpacks. Rebels-Raiders.com. And we got thinkingman.substack.com. It's a New York City-based newsletter. Essays on everything from movies, pop culture, politics, articles. They want people to start thinking again. That's what they want to do over there. So you can check them out at Thinking Man or thinkingman.substack.com. Guess what? Subscriptions are free or $5 a month, depending on what you can afford, what you're willing to give. And, of course, my boy Yannis Pappas, John Pappas. My name just means John. He's got Suds Auto Spot. Did we find out where it is?
Pittsburgh.
We got some listeners in Pittsburgh. John Pappas, my namesake. He's got Suds Auto Spa. When I come to Pittsburgh, I'm going to drive there. I'm taking my car to Suds Auto Spa. I'm not driving. It's too far. 8 hours or something, 6 hours. I'm not doing it. Suds Auto Spa, but I will for you, John. Suds Auto Spa is a clean car freak's dream. They specialize in automotive longevity services such as ceramic coatings, nice, and paint protection film. They also offer storage solutions featuring car capsule units. These storage assets are designed to keep your car dust-free and safe from impacts, mildew, even rodents. If you love your car and you're in Pittsburgh or in an area close to that, might as well check them out. Give us a call. And by us, I mean them. 412-564-5033. I say us because I feel like I'm part of the company. Right now, I am part of the company. I'm getting paid, and I am now part of Suds Auto Spa. I represent Suds Auto Spa. So Suds Auto Spa, if you want to just write some things you want to hear and don't want on the show, I got it, just like the networks. I got it. Just if you want me to cool it on some stuff, cool it. Look, if there's anyone out there who wants to pay me money to cool it on a few things, I'll cool it on a few things. But it's got to come with a couple of dineros. All right? If these sponsors start having demands, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yanni's got to get diapers. Call them at 412-564-5033, or you can email them at info@sudsautospa.com. Check them out. Give them a follow on the gram. Suds-auto-spa on Instagram. Go there and fucking write some funny comments. PCB Tech Art. I love this. Looking for business marketing swag in the form of keychains, ball markers, or bag tags? Maybe you need PCB design consultations, prototyping, or 3D printing services. Check out PCB Tech yannisart.com. Visit the online store or send them a direct message for any consultations and custom designs. Use code Yannis10 for 10% off your order. They also sell on Amazon. So he says to me, Yanni, if you send over images you want to use, could be the podcast thumbnail or just the Yanni logo, I'll get some samples together for you guys. You can, let's do it. We're going to hit you up. Thank you guys for listening. What's up, everybody? Also, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. Catch me May 2nd in Los Angeles at the Netflix is a Joke Festival. Raleigh, North Carolina, May 17th and 18th. And Harrah's in Atlantic City, June 22nd.
Harrah's?
Harrah's. Did I say Harrah's?
You said Harrah's.
Harrah's.